Good evening. This is David Lynn, and you are watching Taco Talk. The Bud Files, hello. Uncle Al and Devil Dog. Prepper, welcome. Bud Files, you missed a nice premiere. And Holly Ivins, welcome Holly. You know, we're just getting started. I would like to make a comment about the way things go. So I did a short of what I ate last night. It was steak, barbecue steak, and sausage, and I got some nice comments on it. Like everybody who watched it left a like, and I think most of them left comments if I recall correctly. But it only had 9 views. In 11 hours, 9 views. So it's like, what in the heck? So I had 2 more pails of my rolled oats, Agassiz Farm rolled oats, come in. I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a short of this and just show you how much room 4 pails of rolled oats, or just 4 pails of anything, how much room it's going to take up. So I set the box out on my love seat. Yeah, it was the love seat out in the living room, and I had the 2 that I'd already unboxed, and I basically had an image of showing them. I held out 4 fingers, It's a 360-day supply for one person. And I got them for a good deal. I got them for a little over $20 a piece, about $21 a piece. Well, in 45 minutes, just 45 minutes when I uploaded it, that short had 120 views. 11 hours on the previous one, and I had good music with it. I've had to music. 11 hours on the previous one, 9 views. 9 views. So that I'm not too happy about. Not really too happy about it. Adjust that a little bit more. Looking to see who's in the house. Anybody else sneak in on me? And I am blind, and I do need to go get glasses. I really am. 7 in the house, 4 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel if you have not done so. It'd be greatly appreciated. Idaho Garden Girl, welcome. So, I have a few things I want to go over this evening. Besides my little, I was peeved. I was a little bit peeved about that. I keep, you get these people. They do professional. They're professional vloggers and YouTubers, and they've got these expensive mics and headphones and backgrounds and lighting setups and cameras, and they got producers and everything, and you got me. I just had 1,600 subscribers. If I get to maybe 160,000, Not likely to happy. I'd be happy if I got to 16,000. So yesterday I got in a nice survival radio, multi-band radio, and music player. And I've been showing this one. This is Life Gear, $18 for this one. This one has everything that this one has and a little bit more. And it's a lot heavier duty. So, one, you got an antenna you can pull out, which will boost your signal. Now, one thing I've noticed is my signal's really boosted when I'm holding it, as opposed to if I just sit it down, the signal's not as good. So holding it in my hand, because I'm inside, that's beneficial. Also, it is a crank, and I'll put something up on my community wall about it. It has a solar panel for solar charging if you're outside. It has a flashlight. It has a built-in compass. Push the button. Gotta hold it down for a couple seconds.
Bluetooth mode.
Volume. Come on now. Get out of Bluetooth mode. Really? That's what you're going to do to me? Wants to stay in Bluetooth. Crap. Get out of Bluetooth.
Radio mode.
Okay.
Radio mode.
It's not sharp or tough. Flammable. Yet it helps send more people to the trauma center than...
That's 98.1, which is a channel I listen to. It's a talk channel. But it's got a lot of good functions. I just have to get a little bit more familiar with it. And then it's got a tuning dial. It's got pretty good sized speakers. So it has good sound. I'm going to order another one. I'm still learning what everything is. Also, you can use headphones, and you can plug in a USB to charge it. You can also plug in to charge a phone. It's got a lithium battery. There's a little power bank in it. Nice, and I paid less than $40 for it on Amazon. Less than $40. I'll put a picture and a link up. But I wanted to go over that. And Little Lone Prepper, welcome Little Lone Prepper. One thing I learned about comments, YouTube will hold some comments for review. I have to click on that tab to read those comments. This might be one way that I'm not getting everybody's comment. Margie TV, welcome, Margie. You know, YouTube is turning into the Gestapo for those people over in Asia on the continent. We're not talking about the islanders, we're talking about the people on the continent, if you know who we're referred to. So, let me go over statistics real fast. I like to go over statistics. There are 9 in the house, and there are 6 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel if you haven't done so. Is that better? I really feel like I need light coming from that direction over here. And I'm trying to avoid the ring light because the ring light blasts me. 1,608 subscribers. So I've been gaining about 1 subscriber a day. Hooray! At least I'm gaining a subscriber a day. The Black Widow channel, welcome. I keep saying I'm going to do a push to do an outreach, and I haven't done it. 17.3K views. So my views keep going up. I'm getting views. Watch time is 553. My last live had 105 views. It actually had 77 views during the live. And then since then, it came up to 105. My last video, which was the Hillbilly Josh, before this one I just premiered, 73 views. Now, for those of you, and I think there are a couple of people who are in here that were not in the drawing that I did. For those of you who want to be in the next drawing, and I don't know, I think I might get to 1,700 a lot. I'll get it there a lot faster than I did the last time, because I went for a period of about 6 months where I wasn't growing. But in this last month that I've been off from school, I basically have grown quite a bit, you know, and I hit that 1,600. Now I'm on the road to 1,700, and I expect to be at 1,700 before I go back to school. I'll be surprised, you know, if I'm not. At any rate, I'm not releasing a lot of videos. I'm trying to do a couple of shorts a day, and I'm doing a few community wall posts. I did a real nice community wall post, and I did a shout out for 20 channels. So if you want to be in my hat when I do my next drawing, you need to go back and make sure that you've left a comment, a supportive comment, in my last 5 videos. And I don't know, I was talking to somebody at the bank today about the internet. The internet's really been lagging. I start rolling like Max Headroom. Dagnabbit. So, getting with the topic for this evening, being a mentor, mentoring. As a Boy Scout first rank, you know, with the Scouts, and I was a Scout for a couple of years. you start out as a scout, and then you go to tenderfoot, and after tenderfoot you are after tenderfoot you are second rank, and then you go to first rank, and when you get to first rank you start mentoring Cub Scouts. You start having the ability to mentor Cub Scouts. You know, a lot of people who are in positions of mentoring, whether it's in martial arts, like let's say you're a higher belt or you're a black belt, and you're at a studio and you do some teaching, and you're not getting paid to do it, but you get free membership to the studio, and you work with the lower belts, and you support you support whoever the head instructor is, the owner of the studio. You mentor and you work with younger kids. You work with even adults that are lower down, that don't have the experience, they don't have the abilities. They're working to develop their skills so that they can hopefully become a black belt one day. And normally there are 10 different levels. I'm very familiar with Taekwondo because it's the last thing I did. It's been 20 years, more than 20 years since I've done it. But I used to be active in Taekwondo. And I remember my instructor, who was a 5th degree black belt, and he eventually got to 6th degree. When he got to 6th degree, he was considered a master. He had very strict standards about not training thugs. He wouldn't train people who obviously didn't have the character for it. You're not training people to be bullies, and you don't want people to use what you teach them to bully others or to take advantage. But a mentor has to be a good moral guide. You've got to give reasonable teachings. You've got to have a good heart, intentions, and you do not want to basically be passing on negative biases, and you don't want to be talking about myths. I don't know why this thing keeps lagging on me. I really need to talk to them about my internet, I guess. It takes time, and it takes patience. Time and patience. Our job is to provide guidance for the beginner. Lead them along the path. In preparedness, you need to take your steps. You're not running. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. You do it over a period of time. You're not telling them to run into the woods. Oh, SHTF is going to happen. I'll be out in the woods. Yeah, and that's where you'll die. It probably won't take very long for that to happen. In preparedness, you're not running into the woods. Coffee. Dark roast. Excellent. With some French vanilla creamer. So most people miss this point. And go like green happy. Tree huggers. And a lot of people, they just don't have the experience. Uncle Al talks about the 50-mile circle. They've never been more than 50 miles away from their home, where they grew up, where they were born. They want to be prepped, so they start piling stuff into their, like, right back here. I've got several pantries that are full. And they're fairly well organized. And I got a lot of stuff in my pantries. I built them with 3/4 inch plywood when we remodeled. So I've got in shelving and just, you know, they're very nice. And they are full. And I've got closets that are full of stuff. And I've got overflow back here, and I've got to really work on reorganizing, you know, the overflow and everything. But I did a short, and the idea of the short was I wanted to show what 4 pails of something, you know, get a pail. Like right behind me, if you look right there, that's 4 pails. That's Ready Wise, and there are 4 pails there, and underneath them there's another 4 pails, and then there's more over on the back over there on that bookcase, and then. But the idea being is a pail takes up a lot of room, so you get 4 pails of Ready Oats. Like I did a short on it, and I'll talk some more about it. But you know, each pail has 10 pounds of Ready Oats, and it's a 90-day supply. For one person. So 4 pails is 360 days. That's 360 servings for one person. For 4 people, that's a 90-day supply. Okay. So imagine me buying another 12 pails and then having to figure out where I'm going to put them, you know, and then I'm getting other stuff too. As a matter of fact, I've got one pantry that's dedicated to freeze-dried foods, mainly number 10 cans, and I am stacking them in there and piling them in there and organizing them. And I'm putting it, I'm recording them, and I'm keeping track of how much I have so I can multiply and determine my servings and all that sort of stuff. I'm also keeping track of how much it costs as the prices rise. You got to be organized. Organization is very important. Organization is very important. You need to be organized. You need to have a system set up. You need to use Pantry. My wife was wanting to talk to me. Melinda Elliott, welcome, Melinda Elliott. My wife was talking to me, and I was trying to explain to her, you know, she says, oh, that's processed oats. It's all processed. It's rolled oats, you know. I got them for just over $20 a pail. And it's the equivalent of me having packs of oatmeal. And I've got to have hot water. I put them in a little cup, put 2 packs in a cup, and I put hot water in it, about 8 ounces of hot water. I stir it and I let it sit, and then after a couple of minutes I'm ready to eat it. Well, you know, if SHTF happens, you're not going to want to use a lot of water for cleanup. And when you start seriously cooking your oats, or you've got to cook them for a while, you're going to do a lot of cleanup afterwards. And that's something I was trying to explain to my wife, is that I'm trying to avoid having to do a lot of cleanup. Mimi's Place. Welcome, Mimi's Place. So I am going to be getting a new phone. I keep putting things off. I get things done. I'm getting things done. I'm getting repairs to the house and upgrades and such. I'm getting that stuff done. I'm getting yard work done. It's raining. It's been raining something off. It rained today, and the grass just grows like you wouldn't believe. You know, you have almost an acre you got to deal with. Weed eating, mowing. I like to use a self-propelled for exercise. Am I getting exercise? Oh, I get exercise. Trust me, I'm getting exercise. I'm going to buy a number 10 can of seeds. And I'll show you when I get it in. And it's garden vegetables for your garden. Seeds. I'm planning on getting a number 10 can of those. This year, and we have fruit trees. We've got fruit trees that we put in, we're working on, and my wife does grow herbs. She's got a herb, you know, she's container gardening herbs. She doesn't grow all the herbs, but she grows some of the main ones. It's hard to cover everything. It really is hard to cover everything. I was communicating with one of the people that I'm very close to, and the individual told me, don't reminisce. You're reminiscing too much. And I tell the story that my parents were married for about 21 years before I was born. And I'm what you call a late life baby. My mother was 40 and my father was 50 when they had me. So, and my mother was a middle child. So I'm 62 right now. I've got a first cousin who's 90. My grandparents pretty much all died before I was born. And all my aunts and uncles are gone. Uncle Howard was the last one to go. He was 93 years old. So I've been reminiscing since I was in my early 30s. I mean, I've been reminiscing for 30 years because most everybody was gone by the time I was 30. So I reminisce about, you know, people that I grew up with, and I grew up with adults. The people I hung out with were all a lot older than me. I hung out with adults. It's sort of like they talk about Barron Trump. He's an uncle, and he's got a bunch of, he was an uncle when he was 1 year old, and he's got all these, his older brothers and sisters. Pretty much most of them have got kids now, and he's barely older than the kids, you know. And my Uncle Howard used to tell stories about that, you know, back in the day when I used to visit. He had nieces and nephews that were his age. So he was an uncle to people who were his age or maybe a little older than him, a little younger than him. Normally when you think about uncle, you're thinking about, well, your brother or your sister has a kid, and the kid's 14, 15 years old, 15, 16 years old, and you're 40 something, you know. So there's a respect there because of age. I don't know. But I talk about stuff like that, you know, and it's good because I grew up with that. I grew up with the generation, the baby boomers. I grew up with the people. I should have been born right after World War II. That's when I really should have been born, right about after World War II. Probably around 40, 46, 47. That's when I should have been born. But I'm towards the last of the baby boomers. So please forgive me for reminiscing about things, you know, or mentioning that the internet came out the year I got my second graduate degree, 95. Had my last of my education. I had 4 degrees from A&M Corpus in 95. That's when the internet came out. So I'm not good with the technology the way people who grew up with it. Yeah, old school. Like I always tell Uncle Al, you know, we're both old school. You know, he's got about a year on me. I think he's class of 79, I was a class of 80. I was born in 62, and I think he was born in 61. Um, but I will tell you this, my writing skills, they still use the MLA style of writing for papers and such and research. Oh shoot. I I'll write you an A+ paper. Citations, notes, the whole 9 yards. I can outright anybody today. They don't read. They don't know how to research. They do everything on the internet. Bloody hell. What's this? You're still you're a baby, Holly. You're the last. You're the year you were born. That's the last of the baby boomers, 1964. You're the last of the Mohicans. My father was born in 1913. He's the eldest son. He was 19 when his father passed away in 1932 of high blood. He had a heart attack. They used to call it Bright's disease. It's what they used to call high blood pressure. He died in 1932. My father was 19 years old. Eldest of 9. And then he had to help raise his little brothers and sisters. My mother was born about 10 years difference in their age. I can't keep track of when everybody was born. She was born early 20s. Dates escape me in my old age. My mother's grandfather, who you could research if you wanted to go look online, David Charles Odom. He was a Texas Ranger. He was a sheriff. He had a town named after him. He was a founding father of a couple of towns. He was a self-made man. He was a a millionaire back in the day when $1 million was worth something. Uh, he passed away in 1925. Back in the day, most people weren't born in hospitals. They were born midwives, or they were born on the ranch, or wherever your home was. Um, my mother was born on the Odom Ranch. She has no memory of her father's father. She had no memory of him. She remembered her because she was a little girl, and she remembered her mother's parents. They were German. So going back over the topic, please leave a like to support the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. Going back over the topic, being a mentor. I was a scout, and I participated for a couple of years. I was a Weeblo. There's Cub Scouts, there's Weeblos, and there's Boy Scouts. And Weeblos were usually like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. Then you go into the Boy Scouts. In the Scouts, like, you got ranks. So you go in as a scout, and then you're a tenderfoot, and you're a 2nd class, you're a 1st class, on up until you get to Eagle Scout. And normally, you get to Eagle Scout when you're in high school. You'll be a junior or a senior in your high school, and you get to be an Eagle Scout. But they teach you to work with and mentor younger kids. Younger people, people with less experience. Teaching is a ministry. Mentoring, teaching. We teach younger people. We're teaching them whatever curriculum or the basics or whatever. Like martial arts, you're an instructor, and you're teaching people the basics and such. So there's a responsibility with that. You don't want to teach them BS. You don't want to teach them a bunch of negative biases. And you don't want to give them bad advice. A bunch of old farts. Oh, please. I think of Scott, Old Fart Gaming. His channel blew up. I used to be bigger than his channel. He would come in here, try to pick up people. Back in the day, his channel's like blown up now. And he declared himself an old fart. Next thing they want, all the tree huggers are going to want to get rid of all the older folks because they say we're causing global warming, if we pass gas or whatever. Mr. Whistle, welcome, Mr. Whistle. They want to get rid of the cows because the cows are passing too much gas, causing global warming. So as I was saying, being prepared, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. You don't do it overnight. You can go and get a list together and go and buy stuff that you need, like bare essentials. You can do that overnight. But as far as bulking out and having your scenarios covered, that takes time. Do you even know what your scenarios are? So when we're mentoring, we're basically teaching the next generation, or we're teaching people who are less experienced, and we have to be sincere. We have to really pass on good stuff, what we've learned. You don't pass on negatives. You can let them know what the negatives are. Of course, you let them know what the negatives are, but you don't train them to be negative. Um, and there's no going out into the woods. I'm gonna go out to the woods. Well, let's put it this way: if you have a home out in the woods and you got a septic system, you got a water well, you've got plenty of solar with generators and battery bank, and you're really stocked with lots of food and everything you need, weapons to defend yourself, big supply of your medication. You got some people with you to help you defend it. You garden. You have some cattle, some animals, some chickens, some goats. What you call meat animals. Yeah, go out into the go out in the country. Go out there. Best place for you. But the idea is, I'm going to go out into the woods and rough it. I'm not going to last long doing that. You really will not. And some people have that fantasy about they're going to go out and hug the trees, and all this BS, and they won't last very long. Becoming Dangerous. And Michaela Missick, welcome. I'm sorry I'm not paying attention, Michaela. And the Ungrateful Peasant, Wayne. Wayne, I've been watching a lot of your I've been watching a lot of your stuff. Been leaving comments and likes. You got some nice stuff there. I tell people all the time, for self-defense, get yourself a 20 gauge shotgun, pump shotgun. You can go over to Walmart and get one that hold about 4 triple-aught buckshot rounds in the tube. Get yourself a sleeve that you can put another 6 rounds on your buttstock. If you don't like the kick of triple-aught buck, get you some 5-shot, and that'll be good self-defense. You go shoot it a couple of times. Go out the country someplace where they got like a old school range, gravel pit or whatever, or go to a range, pay to go in. If you don't know what you're doing, get somebody in there, one of the instructors, to show you the basics, and that will be a good self-defense for your home. You chamber around, point in their direction, fire. Of course, you're going to have a big mess to clean up afterwards. You're also probably going to have your ears ringing because it's very loud inside a enclosed space. It'll be very loud. The kick is not bad. People say, "Oh, shotgun's going to kick." It's not that bad. But the idea is, yeah, it's hot all over, summertime, and we're not at the hottest part of the summer yet. That's still to come. And it is hurricane season. Started June the 1st. We've already had a tropical storm. Came in the Gulf Coast down in Mexico. Gave me lots of rain. Still getting rain from that, And I was reading that we average about 1,500 tornadoes a year in the United States. Apparently, the United States records about 75% of the tornadoes around the world. 75% of the tornadoes happen here. I don't understand that, but that was something other, and I don't know if that's true or not, but it's something other I read. I don't want somebody to go send me to a fact checker, you know, and, oh, he lied, he intentionally lied. I don't intentionally do anything negative, you know. Sometimes I say something other, or I repeat something other that I believe is true, and it may or may not. But my intentions are good. Everybody's trying to get something on everybody else. It seems like, you know, it's like gotcha. They want to gotcha. Mike Crusher Reviews. Mike, I like that ramen that you did with your girls. I enjoyed that. You are blessed. I told you, you are blessed. Your children, you are blessed, precious girls. Something's flying around. It's mosquito season. You get one or two of them in the house, and it's like, good Lord. And they always seem to attack when you're not watching. So, as I was saying, it is a responsibility that you might not want to take on to be a mentor. But if you have children, you are a mentor. If you have nieces and nephews, you are a mentor. If you teach, you are a mentor. And with that comes responsibility. So, I posted a short before we began, and first 45 minutes it had 120 views. Now, I posted one of my supper last night. Been up for 11 hours. In 11 hours, 9 views. I don't know what it is with the algorithm. I put it to music. I didn't say anything. I just showed a steak and some sausage. I've had 9 likes. Everybody that watched it, I guess, the 9 people that watched, everybody left a like. Had some nice comments. But 9 views for 11 hours. And then 45 minutes, I post the one on the rolled oats. 120 views in 45 minutes. So I don't know what it is with the algorithm, but sometimes they hit me with clinkers. The other thing is, everything's shutting down 400 and some odd views in. It's like they don't push it out to the next level. If you look at it, it goes 400 and some odd, and they don't push it out to the next level. I don't understand. I guess I'm on the SHIT list for, you know, they don't like my content. I mean, you look at somebody who's doing gaming, you know, over in the time that it took me, in the year that I was working hard to get 1,000+ subscribers, and then bigger than a lot of these other channels, and now they're 10 times my size of mine. I mean, I got channels that I can remember back when they were smaller than me, and now they're like 15, 16,000, 20,000 subscribers. But they're not putting out content that YouTube doesn't like. You know, they're not putting out stuff that YouTube doesn't like. wonderful. Olympic shooting team. I'm sure you're very proud. Ten in the house, 14 likes. Yeah, the AI. I can't stand cold coffee. Ugh. But I was drinking a dark roast with French vanilla creamer. And there's not much left in it, so I'm not going to bother heating it up. Just make some more. Like, so somebody who's monetized, tell me what's going on. I finally did my two-step. You know. And now what's next? I guess I'm waiting. I guess at some point they'll contact me. I don't know. But I mean, I qualified for monetization 5-6 months ago. I just hadn't done it. Keep periodically getting emails from them. Complete your two-step and complete your complete your application process, type stuff. I don't know. I don't depend on it as an income, or I don't look to it as an income. Yeah, if my channel blew up and all of a sudden I had 100,000 viewers and I drop a video and I get 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 views, that would be financially worth it. But you drop stuff and you get 100 views and they're not necessarily looking at the entire thing. And right now, I guess it comes down to the views as opposed to the watch time. But I mean, right now I'm averaging over 500 watch hours for a 28-day cycle. I'm at 550 some odd right now. I was at over 600. And if I was really pushing, I could get up past 600 if I start hustling and pushing. But yeah, stormy weather. One thing about the storms and the rain is it keeps it a little cooler. It's a little bit cooler. Everything's green. Everything's green and growing. When I did my premiere of the 1600, I put a couple clips in it of the rain and of the, my patio, all the wife's plantings. She grows a lot of stuff in containers. Looks tropical back there. And or like the front porch. She's got that all planted out. She did all that this spring. She planted all that stuff this spring. Looks wonderful. A lot of work and a lot of effort. Yeah, you don't want to have, you have your electricity knocked out for too long, and then you start losing stuff out of the fridge, freezer. That's where you need backup power. 14 likes, 13 in the house. Please leave a like to support the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. So, I've been trying to do an hour live stream every day, usually 7 o'clock. I know I'm competing with other people. I know there are people who come into my live stream, stay for a little while, they go to somebody else's live stream. I mean, I grudge you not on that. I would appreciate it if those of you who are going to, or those of you who have been, go back to my video that I just dropped. It was a premiere. There were several people that were in it, and they come to me quite often. I consider them friends. But like when I do my next giveaway, if you want to participate, you've got to go back and you've got to leave a comment. Well, I was at the live stream and I left several comments. Yes, you were, but I'm not going to remember that. I'm going to go back and I'm going to look to see who left comments in the comment section. And that comment section during the actual premiere will not be there. It's like my live streams. You know, I have 20 people or so come into my live stream and leave comments. And there may be 100 people that tapped through my live stream, spent a little bit of time, and just went on. But in order for you to qualify, when I go back, I hit 1,700. I'm going to look at my last 5 videos, and most of them will probably have been a premiere. I'm going to look to see who left comments. And if you didn't come back around and leave a comment after the video spooled up, it doesn't count. And there were people who likely probably had attended a premiere, but they didn't go back and leave a comment, and instead of having all 5, they were at 4, or they were at 3, and they weren't in the hat. And I'm sorry, but I got to follow the rules. If the rule is you got to have a comment on all 5, I or anybody else wants to go look at comments, need to be able to go back through, look at those comments and see, well, did that person actually leave a comment on all 5? You know. Good night, Uncle Al. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. Every day I wake up, I thank God for the day. I'm getting older. A lot of people younger than me, they don't wake up. I say the Lord's Prayer. I think a lot. I drink my coffee, take my medication. I communicate with people. I try to watch channels that watch me. And I'm always behind. I'm always behind. I'm enjoying my summer vacation. I got about another 6 weeks of it. My daughter, we celebrated my daughter's birthday today. My baby's 26. Just turned 26. And took some pictures. I got to go have them take my phone over to Walgreens and have some prints made. Used to be you'd use a camera with film in it. You go have the film process and then they'd make prints. Now everything's digital. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Mentor the next generation. Mentor your grandkids. Mentor your kids. If you're an expert at something other, mentor them. Mentor your, you teach, mentor. You're being a mentor. Set a good example. Lead by example. A good leader needs to be a good follower. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Thank responders. Be kind to the elderly. Be gentlemanly to ladies. And everybody, please have a blessed day, and I will plan on being back tomorrow at 7 for another edition of Coffee Talk. Thank you.